Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining the Run Your Day podcast. My name is Dan Hafner. As always, welcome into the show. Today's topic is this. That's probably a dumb idea. Thank you for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everyone. Welcome into the show today. Got another great topic for you. I'm pretty excited about this one. That's probably a dumb idea. Inside of this week of reflection, I wanted to talk about this because this is something that I have experienced several times in the last couple weeks here, and I kind of just wanted to pass along my insights on it. So, when you get an idea for something, you have a different way you want to approach something, or you have a business idea, or you have a date night idea, or something you want to do with your kids, or anything in that realm, right? An idea is just a story. An idea is just a story that you come up with in your mind, okay? That's really all it is. It's your mind going on in your imagination about, hey, I wonder if this would be cool, and it's or maybe I should do this way, or I should try this another way. And it's really just a story that you come up with in your mind, right? That is an idea. You're trying to maybe look at something differently. It's your imagination running wild. And an idea isn't good or bad inherently. An idea is just an idea. It is what it is. You have a business idea for something. It just is what it is. It's not inherently good. It's not inherently bad. It just is what it is. What makes it good or bad are people's judgments of it, right? I mean, there are such things that people say as bad ideas. But what I believe is that, an idea is just an idea. Now, there are things that go against common sense that are just like, well, no, that just literally doesn't make sense. But, a lot of ideas in the world are then shaped to be either good or bad, and then accepted as good or bad by what the majority thinks about it, right? It's, well, I tried that and it didn't work, so I think this one will fail also. And then it just spreads on to the next person, and word of mouth keeps it going, and it just is generally accepted as a bad idea. Or in the opposite case, like somebody tried Facebook and liked it, and then told somebody else about it, and then told somebody else about it, and turned out that it was a really, really good idea. Or somebody told somebody about Google, and it caught on, and it was a really, really good idea. And on the other side of that coin, I think that, ideas that are good will surface to the top because they just make sense. They inherently prove their value, and they will rise to the top of becoming a good idea. But I feel like at the same time, it's people's judgments of things that also have a big part in shaping it, at least in the beginning stages of something. When was the last time you maybe had an idea about something to do? You brought up something with your wife, like, or your husband, and like, hey, let's go do this. And they're like, I don't know. That's I don't really want to do that. Like, that happens all the time. Or like you're scrolling through the Netflix thing, and you're like, well, let's watch this. Well, I don't know. Or let's watch this. This looks good. No, I don't know. It's our prejudgments of things that affect like what we expect from that new experience or idea, right? So if you can learn to overcome that previous bias in your life, I think you'll be more open to things, and you'll be more willing to try new things. You'll be more open to ideas. You'll be more accepting of ideas and be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can see how that would work, or maybe I can see how this would be fun, So at the same time, when you have an idea, it's also really helpful, and it's hard to do. Believe me, I've struggled with this for a long time. It's hard to reach out and get feedback on that idea, because when you have an idea, you almost want to treat it like a little tiny baby, right? Like you want to, almost like a baby that's still in the womb, that you just want to hold and protect and just shield from any outside influence, because it's your perfect little idea. It's just beautiful the way it is, and you don't want anyone to corrupt it. And it's just innocent, and it's good, and it might be dumb. You know what I mean? Like it's harsh to think about, but if you always keep an idea in that proverbial womb, it's never going to get out into the world, and it's never going to either be found to be a good idea or a bad idea. You know, like you can't just isolate it. You have to get it out there, get feedback, get it tested, and then not be afraid to then tweak it or change it or come at it from a different approach and be like, oh, you know what? Like I didn't think of that, or maybe let's try this approach. You know, it can be tough to let things go and to be like, well, I don't really want to unshield this idea because you have the fear of someone stealing your idea, or you have the feel of it being corrupted to be used for something you didn't intend it to be used for. But that's the only way that it'll grow. That's the only way that it'll actually get out into the world. Just because you have an idea in your head doesn't mean that the entire world knows about it and that anyone cares about it. It's in your head. It's a story you're telling yourself. That's all it is. It's the only place it exists. So when you're reaching out for feedback or you're trying to put it out into the world, you can be subtle. The beauty of it is you can choose how you put it out there, right? You can be subtle or you can be bold. You could just blast it out on Facebook to your 2,000 friends or however many people you have and get feedback. Or you can, approach a friend about something and just kind of be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or can I get your opinion on this? And then move on. It's up to you, really. You determine. That's the beauty of it, is you determine the fate of it. You determine the course that you want it to go, and you have the right to do that because it is your idea. Now, all that being said, this topic of that's probably a dumb idea kind of ties back to this whole theme of reflection for the week, because while you're doing all of this, it's also a very good practice to kind of be self-analytical at times and kind of take a step back before you go out into the world with an idea or a new approach to something, and kind of think like, okay, does this make sense if somebody came up to me, and would I be able to explain this well? Would I look like, kind of like an idiot, or would I actually kind of look like I know what I'm doing? And it's not so much you're worried about what other people are thinking. It's more thinking, it's like a self-vetting process of an idea. It's like a self-check kind of deal, And I've had to learn how to do this because I get a lot of ideas, and a lot of my ideas are dumb. Like, it's just the truth. Like my imagination has gone so wild lately that it's just like I'm always writing down ideas and different things, and whether they're business ideas or date night ideas or just a whole bunch of things. And the more I look at them, the more I'm like, wow, what was I thinking? That's a dumb idea. Like that'll never work. And it's good that you self vet those before you go out and get feedback, because as much as I say, don't worry about what other people think, you also have to, at some level, kind of worry about that at some point. You have to be like, well, if I want to be taken seriously at some level, at some point in the future, I need to also remember that, I'm going to be repeatedly judged on the ideas that I put forth and the value that I put forth. So if I'm always putting out dumb ideas into the world, people are going to catch on to that and notice that. And you're not going to have a good reputation for the next time someone's like, hey, where you're like, hey, can you look at this for me? And they're gonna be like, seriously, man, like, is this another one of your silly like little inventions or ideas or whatever? And they're not gonna give it the it might be the best idea ever, but it might not be given the attention and critical review that you want it to be given. It could be the next Google idea, but because of your reputation, you're just the boy that cried wolf, that it won't go anywhere. So those are all things to think about today. And when it comes to this theme of reflection, this is more of a, I guess this would be kind of an inflection, because you're looking kind of inwardly on yourself, but you're also looking at it from a third person view. So it's a little bit of both. But that was my topic I wanted to talk about today. It's just something that I've been going through a lot lately, and I've realized that, like, hey, like, yeah, I have a lot of dumb ideas, but at least I'm trying. At least I'm trying to, be creative and be imaginative. And I really encourage you to do that, whether it's in your, in your fitness, in your relationship, your marriage, your career, your business, whatever it is. Ideas are just ideas. There are good ideas and there can be dumb ideas, but it's how you approach them, how you judge them, how they are judged by other people that makes them good or bad or dumb. So think about that today. I encourage you to kind of reflect on this. Think about maybe, how your ideas can be preconceived and prejudged upon. And then, try to think about the next time you have one, how you're going to approach it, how you're going to actually vet it, how you would get feedback on it, and maybe start vetting them yourself and kind of get to a place where you'll have better ideas more consistently. So that's my challenge for you today. That's going to wrap up the show. As always, thank you very much for joining. This is the Run Your Day podcast. My name is Dan Havner, CEO and founder of RunWage. The app is coming soon, I promise. I am still working on it. I'm trying to perfect it. Getting to be a little bit of a perfectionist, and I know I just need to get it out there. But I really appreciate you guys. And if you have any feedback or would like to, give me any kind of advice or like to be on the show, I would certainly welcome you. Just go ahead and message me through the Anchor app, and we will get it started. So thank you again for joining. This is the Run Your Day podcast, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.